Hello everyone, I'm going to do another quick video today. This particular Midnite charge controller has burned up its transistors and needs to be replaced. I'm going to show you how to know that. If you look over here onto the photo combiner box, this number 5 typically runs your Midnite charge controller, and when this is on and these are off, obviously you'd have 0 volts right there. And what's happening today is when we turn these on to power on, and you always want to turn these on one at a time so it gives time for the Midnite charge controller to adjust, but you'll notice that it's still showing 0 volts in. This is a telltale sign that your Midnite charge controller is burned up and it needs to be sent into Midnite Solar for repairs. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this apart and you're going to see the process. I'm going to try to document this today so you can see all the process of doing this. Now, sometimes this voltage over here, see how this says 49.6 volts? That's the volts to the battery. Sometimes I've even seen it when this guy here will mimic what you see over here. And when that happens, it's also a telltale sign that the Midnite charge controller is bad. But it's getting some voltage from the battery because it charges up the capacitors, and that's how it ends up showing that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this apart. I've already prepared some of it. Obviously, we want these off so that there's no power coming in. And then I'm also going to go ahead and power down the Midnite charge controller, so you can see this go off as I turned off breaker number 5. And I've already removed the bolts. There's 4 bolts. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, which I've already removed. And as you pull this off, you want to be a little careful because inside here, this blue cable right here, this blue cable is what runs the front display. So, okay, I prefer to pull this cable from the back side of the cover because, as you can see here, there are numerous places where this cable could technically plug into, right here, okay? So leaving this in the top position, then you just don't have to worry about where you plug it in, and it just unplugs here, and then this comes out. As you can see, there's your case. I'll set the case up here. Now, to finish removing this device, there is one screw up here at the very top, which is an Allen wrench, and then there's one down here, which I've already removed right there. And then over here on this side, there's another one. Once you get those 4 off, then this pretty much will come off of the back. However, this guy right here, this pipe, there's a pipe conduit that connects between here and the photo combiner box. And then all these wires are coming in. Now, you always want to make sure that these are all not energized. So use your trusty voltmeter, and you can just test these wires right here by testing on this, you know, and then that, and make sure there's no voltage here. So then you know you're safe to be able to pull this whole thing. Now I'm going to unscrew these 4 bolts here. I also have to unscrew the ground that's in the back here. And once you get those 5 wires done, you pretty much can just pull them into a straight line. This here, this goes to the battery temp sensor that finds its way all the way back onto the battery. And a lot of people don't even know this, but it's underneath the negative terminal on the battery. So if you look right here, I wonder if I can zoom this in. Yeah, and then I'll have to climb in. You see that blue wire right there on the battery? That blue wire comes over and it goes underneath the negative tab on the battery. A lot of people don't know what that is, and that's essentially the Midnite charge controller battery temp sensor. Okay, so let's come back to this. So I'm going to pull these 5 wires. You just unclip this here. It's very easy to pop this guy off. He comes out. And then this whole thing will pull out. And I have here a replacement unit that I've already sent into Midnite Solar. And I like keeping these boxes because they ship really cool. I also really like Art Deco. I enjoy the design on the outside of their box. It's very Art Deco stylish. Anyway, I'm going to put this new charge controller in, and then I'll pop this one out, and then I'll send this back into Midnite Solar for repairs. So that's it for now. I'll probably shoot a little bit more of this video to show when I'm all done with the wiring and stuff, and then we'll get ready to power it on. Actually, there is one other thing I wanted to talk about. So in addition to flipping these breakers here to the down position, it's also a little extra safe if you disconnect the solar back here from the back of the trailer, which I did here, you can see. Now you can see these two little tabs. Those go in there and they snap into that position. So in order to take them off, you basically have to push these little tabs in from this other side back here. You can see as it goes in, it'll snap on, and then you have to push those. Now I've gotten pretty good where I can pinch both sides with my fingers and then wiggle, jiggle, and it usually will come out like that. But disconnecting this is just another layer of safety. By doing this, your photo combiner box right here is not going to have any power in here now. So this right here will be guaranteed not to have any power. One side goes to the left and the other side goes to the right. And so this right here will ensure that these wires are not energized. Now, while you're in this box, this wire right here that comes down and goes into the box, this is energized from the Anderson connector on the back side of the trailer. This guy right here. So if you want to be 100% safe, you can wiggle jiggle this guy off. And when you do that, you don't want to pull too much on these cables. You want to wiggle jiggle here, and then you can get that off. But when that comes off, you're essentially disconnecting all power from the cabinet. Without the Anderson connector, your Sunnies won't power up, your Midnite Solar won't power up, and by you disconnecting the solar here on both sides, you got to do it on the other side as well over there. You do that on both sides, you've essentially cut out all the power, and then you can work in here a little bit more safely. Okay, I just wanted to show a couple interesting things. This conduit lock washer here, on the back side, see these little flanges on the back side, they actually hit the back. So sometimes you can be like pounding like crazy trying to get this to unlock, but it's jamming up against the back of that box. And so this is always tricky to get this little lock washer off. And then another interesting thing I noticed is if you look right here, you can see that these two of these screws right here, whoever put this on previously before me, they literally broke those off. There's two that are broke off. So they way over torqued these. It's so easy to do, but this is soft lead in these bolts, or these little screw-in things. So you got to make sure not to over torque them. What an electrician taught me an interesting trick, and that is you get it to where it's tight, and then you back off a quarter turn, and then you tighten it again, and then you back off again and you tighten it. Well, because these are stranded wires here, each time that you tighten it, it kind of compresses these a little bit. And then as you back off, it allows them to kind of breathe a little bit. And then as you compress it the second time. Anyway, that's a good way to get these to be a little more snug without having to over torque these screws. We decided to just cut the wire off because there's plenty of play on these red wires. I have excess here. So it was easier to do that than trying to drill this out. Hopefully Midnite Solar doesn't get mad at me for sending it in like this. But I figure they are probably more equipped to be able to drill these out. They probably have all the stuff. I mean, I've got stuff to drill it out, but I'd rather them do it. So hopefully they don't bill me too crazy for it. All right. Anyway, I thought everyone that would be interesting to share. Let's see, come up. Yeah, actually right about there is perfect. Now let's see, come right there. Okay. And what the heck? Is it recording? Oh, it's recording now. Okay, I thought I would show how I tighten these up, and you can see right here I've got this as you put your screwdriver on, you can see this is still fairly loose. So what the electrician taught me is that if you tighten it once, you go to snug, you don't over torque it, you just go to about where it feels good, and then if you back off on it and then you torque it one more time, you'll notice I can go just a little bit further. And I'm going to do this 3 times. I back off, and I'll torque it one more time. And each time, you can go just a little bit further, and it allows you to get these a little tighter. Now, this method works on the stranded wires. So when there's little strands in those wires, that's when you want to do this process. Okay, so now that I have hooked up the brand new Midnite charge controller that was shipped back to me from Midnite Solar, and I've connected it successfully down in here. And then I'm now going to turn on these, but I'll wait to turn those on in a second. That's for the solar. It came up in this, we have to program it. So I thought I'd just do this on camera as well. So obviously you have wind and you have hydro, but we're going to stick with solar. So you click enter. And now it's going to ask for, it's a 48 volt battery, which it kind of detects that based on the battery voltage, but it wouldn't surprise me if that's the default as well. We're going to say okay. And now the equalization and the absorb and the float, these are the defaults that come with it. And just so that people understand, there's 24 cells in the battery. So if you take 57.2 and you divide that by 24, you'll come up with a per cell voltage rating. Same thing with absorb and same thing with float. I generally just stick with the defaults. You can tweak this a little bit, and maybe I'll create another video in the future to talk about how you can tweak these numbers, but we'll go ahead and just leave these as is. One other thing, on the equalize, for those of you that have generators, when you tell your Sunny Islands to equalize, it will push the battery voltage as high as 61 volts. Well, guess what? As soon as you get over 57.2 volts, this guy will actually put down here a message that says over voltage. And there's been a few people that have said, hey, what does that over voltage mean? Well, that just means that you've exceeded the 57.2. We're going to go ahead and leave it just like this. And then the time, what time is it? Do you know what time it is?
20 after 12.
20 after 12. So we'll go down to 1200 hours. Actually, we're pretty close. 20. And then, what is the date today? It's February.
February the 19th.
19th. It's the Y2K bug. 2025. Can you believe it?
No.
Can't believe we're 2025. Getting closer to the end of the world, everyone. All right, we'll say enter. That's sending data. It's all done. Classic 250. We got our date. Klung. There we go. Now, this, and then earlier I mentioned how you can see the 39. This will eventually reach the 49.7 after enough time, because it's getting power from the battery. That's just where it backward charges the capacitor. That's what I wanted to show. So now let's go ahead and turn on panel array number 1. And you can see we instantly jump all the way up to 179 volts, and then we drop all the way down. It's dialing it in, trying to decide what we're going to charge at. We're at 147 volts, 0.9, 148. And notice that the amps are 5 amps. So now when I turn on the second one, click, that amperage is going to jump up, which it did. So we're closer to 9 amps now. And that's the way this works. So we're all good to go. And then the watts right now, it's only harvesting about 473. But today is kind of an overcast day. As you can see, there's no sun up there. So, all right. Well, I think we're done. I hope everyone finds this video helpful. Trying to think if there's anything else that I could tell you about. I think it's easier to mount these 2 bottom screws here first that mount this to the back wall. and then don't tighten them, and then you can wiggle it and jiggle it to line this top bolt up here, because this is really a hard one to seat in there. All right, well, we'll talk to y'all later. I'll go finish this video up.